Welcome back to the channel, guys. RonMan here. Today we're taking a look at Shadowrun for the Super Nintendo. Shadowrun started off as a tabletop pen and paper RPG that was released in 1989. Since then, it's become a franchise spawning many different books and video games, among other things. Today I'm reviewing the first of many games. Shadowrun was developed by Beam Software and published by Data East for the Super Nintendo in 1993. Loosely based off the novel, Never Deal with the Dragon, Shadowrun takes place in Seattle, Washington in the year 2050. The story opens with your character, Jake Armitage, getting gunned down in the open street. At this point, the reason is unclear. A mysterious fox lady shows up at the right time and casts a spell on you. Instead of dying, you come back to life, but with amnesia. Your journey begins in the morgue just before you scare the shit out of the morgue guys. Your goal is to figure out who you are, who did this to you, and why. Shadowrun is a cyberpunk isometric action RPG with some point-and-click elements. To interact with your environment, you press B to bring up a cursor, then you point and click on what you want to interact with. Both combat and magic work virtually the same way. Now, I've actually heard people complain about the controls in this game. I think some people feel that pointing and clicking on things can feel cumbersome. For instance, you press B for the cursor, then click on the door, then select open. Yes, I can understand that complaint, but the people who made this game had the foresight to program the L and R buttons. This makes everything easy. Just press R to show the cursor, then press R on the door to open. If you want to examine an object, press L instead. It's really easy. I think the controls work great. You can equip guns, armor, and later on, spells. Enemies drop Nuyen, which is this game's currency. When talking to NPCs, often you'll see words in bold. These are keywords. They're added to a list from which you can ask about when talking to NPCs. This is important because it's how you advance the story. Later in the game, you gain the ability to hack computers, and this is referred to as decking. The style of gameplay changes as you enter cyberspace. Decking is sometimes required to advance the story, but it's also a great way to earn cash. Enemies typically drop a very small amount of Nuyen, and if you're saving up for that assault cannon, well, decking is the faster option. As you explore Seattle, you'll be defending yourself against what seems like an endless supply of hired goons. You'll encounter them anywhere and everywhere. It's not just the hired goons who you need to watch out for. The streets of Seattle are also home to quite a few, shall I say, supernatural creatures. Eventually, you'll be attacked by ghouls. Be warned though, they're fast. It is worth it, however, as ghoul busting is a great way to earn karma. Karma can be spent to level up Jake. At the beginning of the game, I recommend focusing on body, which increases your HP, and firearms, which increases your accuracy. Combat works well, for the most part. You just pull out your gun, aim, and shoot. You can sometimes use your environment to your advantage. For example, you can take cover behind certain objects or structures. Depending on where you hide, this could take you out of their line of sight. In this example, I hid behind the dumpster and this Nobel Prize winner couldn't see me, so I just shot him. As you can see, it works well, but there are a few enemies who move way too fast, and as a result, shooting them can be tricky. I promise though, this is very uncommon. To aid in combat, you're able to hire people into your party. These people are Shadowrunners. There are many different Shadowrunners you can hire. If you want strong firepower, hire a mercenary. If you need someone to help you into the Matrix, hire a decker. You get the idea. These party members are temporary, though the length of time they spend with you depends on your leadership skill. I'll mention that you can also give your own weapons and armor to your hired Shadowrunners in case you don't like their default equipment. I think Shadowrun has great atmosphere, and this is mostly thanks to the graphics, the music, the story, and the writing. Even just talking to some random loser with this somber music makes this hopeless metropolitan shithole seem like a place that I'd love to spend an afternoon. Like, I would hate to be there in real life, but this game makes me think that I'd like to be there in real life. That's how well they nailed the atmosphere. Here's kind of a stupid story. When I was in college, right before class, I was in the hallway, and I'm like fantasizing about Shadowrun, and then I just looked at my buddy and I was like, I want to move to Seattle and hang out with street scum. And he fucking laughed his ass off. But I wasn't trying to be funny, so that's how well I think they nailed the atmosphere. Just check out the music, it's so good. Now, while I do love this game, I admit that for first-time players, it can be a little intimidating. Shadowrun does not hold your hand. On my first playthrough, I often got stuck because I didn't know who to talk to or what to ask them. It can be easy to miss out on a particular keyword because you didn't ask about the right topic. Also early on, it's easy to get killed. If you're new to this game, you might not know the designated spots where enemies have a chance to appear. For example, I know that it's possible a sniper will be in this window. If it's closed, I'm fine. If it's open, there is sure to be a hired goon. So if I'm low on health or just don't feel like fighting, I'll leave the screen and come back. I'll do this until he's gone. The neat thing with Shadowrun is that every time I play it a little differently. For example, you don't need to hire Shadowrunners, but you can. You don't need to use magic, but you can. Heck, if you want to make this game even harder, you can sell your first gun before you talk to Glutman, and when you're taken to the car yards, they'll give you the zip gun, which is the worst gun in the game. So that's Shadowrun. I absolutely love this game. Everything about it. The graphics, the music, the atmosphere. I often return to this game and play it. Probably at least once a year. It's easily within my top 10 Super Nintendo games, and for that, I give Shadowrun a 9 out of 10. I hate to say it, but despite owning the Genesis version, I've never played it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.